Greetings, everybody. I am the Starving Martian, and this, well, you know what? Why don't we let him introduce himself?
I'm Agent J.
That's right. This is Agent J, a 12-inch talking figure from the Men in Black 2 toy line put out by Hasbro back in 2002 to coincide with the release of the Men in Black 2 movie. Now, over the course of the past year and a half or so on this channel, we've taken a look at a number of Men in Black figures, mostly from the first movie. Those were put out by Galoob, but almost immediately after the Men in Black toy line was released to the public, Galoob got bought out by Hasbro, so it makes sense that Hasbro was the one making the figures for the second movie. So how did they do? Well, they did pretty well, actually. The figures in the Hasbro line look a lot more like the actors, the actual characters. Um, the standard figures were kind of, I'd say, probably around G.I. Joe-ish size. So a significant step down size-wise, but they looked a lot more screen accurate. They came with fun weapons and accessories, and they are monstrously expensive on the secondary market today for some reason. I can only guess that there's just not a lot of them floating around out there, but in any case, they're hard to acquire at a good price. Ironically, I was able to get this talking 12-inch figure for much cheaper than I can get the standard 3.5-inch figures. Go figure. Yeah, this guy cost me about $25 after shipping, which was a bit of a deal. Usually he goes around 35, maybe a little more. So that's something to look out for. I got him off of eBay. But as far as Men in Black figures go, I really, really, really like this guy. He is spot on as far as looks go. He's got some of the best lights and sounds gimmicks I've seen on a figure, and by some of the best, I mean some of the most appropriate to the character, which we'll get into in just a minute. So yeah, let's take a look at our very special agent here, and I think they did a really nice job on that face sculpt. You can definitely see Will Smith coming through on this guy. And that's one of the things I do like about 12-inch action figures. They display really nice on a shelf. You can see it from across the room. And they just give the sculptors more room to play with and give them the ability to make the figure look like it's supposed to look. Alright, so coming down, we see his standard issue black suit. He does have a neuralizer in one hand, which is not removable, but I'm okay with that, and I'll show you why in a minute. His legs are at kind of an odd angle here, but that's just to give him sort of an action-y pose. Turn him around, and you basically just have the back of a black suit. The back profile is kind of boring. And you can see here, this is the button that I pushed before that made him speak, and it's disguised pretty well. Sometimes the buttons are like a different color or something, so you could see where they're at, I guess, but that's always annoying. But his button blends with the rest of the figure, and that's always nice. As far as accessories go, he did come with a number of accessories. First off, we have this Resident Alien ID badge. And this is actually a picture of one of the aliens from the Men in Black 2 film. Although, there's a spot on the back along the side here. There's a little bit of a gap. And the idea is you can slide your own photo in over that. And so you can be an alien. And if the Men in Black ever pull you over, you just show them this. Hey, I'm registered, I'm a resident alien, and they'll leave you alone and let you go about your business. So, you know, if you ever do find yourself in a situation where mysterious government agents in black suits are like hanging around your neighborhood, might not be a bad idea. His other accessories he came with include Frank, the pug, in his little MIB suit. And you know what? I never liked Frank in the MIB suit. If you actually watch the movie, he's only in it for like 45 seconds. And you could tell they just put him that scene in the movie so they could sell toys and dolls and figures of him in the stupid suit. Because the idea of Men in Black is they're supposed to blend. You're not supposed to notice them. And I'm pretty sure you would notice a pug in a suit. So, that's kind of stupid. But it does scale well with the figure. So you got that going on there. And his other accessory, of course, is the Series 4 De-Atomizer, which is done out in this really nice chrome with some black accents and a blue tip here, which is actually a firing missile. It feels a little bit light for its size, but that's okay. So it's probably just hollowed out, but you know, mostly going to be using it for display purposes. He holds it well, which I'll show you in a minute, but first let's see how well it fires. So let's move Agent J out of the way here and bring out our crash test dummy buddy. Now, for an MIB figure, it might be more appropriate to target a alien, but on this channel we always shoot a crash dummy. That's just how we roll. So here's a little firing pin right there. Oops, right there. It's a little gray spot. And kabam. Nice spin. And it's just a standard blue missile. You've seen these things on a million other toys. Slide it in, make it click, you're ready to go. So Jay's hand here is molded to hold it well, and so you're just going to kind of angle it in. I said you're just kind of get it in there. Come on, Jay. He was holding this fine before. Of course, before I wasn't working in front of the camera at an odd angle. There we go. And his finger will fit into the trigger. There we are. And he holds it rather nicely. The wrist swivels, so you could angle it as you like. And here's Agent J fully armed. He's got a bend at the wrist, so you can get him to hold the gun as wherever you like. Now he's supposed to have a gimmick in this arm where you pull it up all the way, and it's supposed to make a firing sound, and on mine it doesn't, which is slightly unfortunate, but of all the sound gimmicks this guy comes with, that's the one I can live without the most, I suppose. Camera back centered a little bit better. Alright, so sound gimmicks. What else has he got? Well, you heard him announce his name. He's got a few more things he can tell you. Let's see what else he wants to say to us.
We need the deneuralizer.
We need the deneuralizer. Alright.
Is that all you got?
No, we got more. Let's hear it.
That measures about a 10 on my weirdometer. Can I see some ID?
Well, sure you can. Here. My resident alien card.
Do not touch that!
But it's my card.
I'll make this look good.
Yes, you do. Of course, famous quote from the first movie.
You're not alone in the universe.
Oh, thank you, Jay. I feel more comfortable now, and I think that's it.
That guy's got to be an alien.
Now one more. Alright. And then we're back to...
I'm Agent J.
Hi, Agent J. And so the other thing he does is he's got a working neuralizer. And when I say working, he'll say one or two phrases when you move this arm, and the neuralizer, the flashy thing, actually lights up. So let's get that going. So all you're going to do is lift this arm up all the way.
Please look directly at this.
So that's really nice. I do like that.
You will have a nice day.
Alright, you will have a nice day. That's subconsciously implanted in you now. So by watching my channel, you are going to have a nice day. And the back of the neuralizer is actually detailed too. You can see they got the little circular selector things in there that change the month and day and time and whatnot. And that's a nice detail that they didn't really have to put in. There's even a little bit of grooves going on inside there, so I'm impressed with that.
Please look directly at this.
Now, if I was going to change anything, I would have made that light blue instead of green, but, you know, it still gets the point across. So, as far as articulation goes, posability on this guy, well, his head rotates, so you could scan for alien scum. You saw both the arms do come up and down. He's got an elbow joint in this arm. None here, but I imagine there's probably just wires and stuff coming through for the neuralizer. His, let's see.
We need the deneuralizer.
Okay, we've got the deneuralizer. Well, actually, you have the neuralizer. Anyway, he's got a bend at each of the knees, which actually comes in handy because depending on what he's holding and how far out his arms are, sometimes he does have a tendency to want to fall forward, so you could adjust the knees as needed. But you're really only going to get him in the one basic pose and then, you know, fiddle with the gun and decide how you want to pose that. Now, there's one major bummer about this figure, is that it's the only 12-inch figure in the line. As much as I love Agent J, it would have been nice to have an Agent K to put him up on the shelf with, and there's no, like, 12-inch aliens or anything like that either. Fortunately, other companies, other properties have made 12-inch figures, so you can pair them off with some interesting people. If you have any 12-inch Star Wars aliens or anything of that nature. My favorite, of course, is the 12-inch Martian Commander from Mars Attacks. There we are. And that is a thing of beauty. Oops. MIB versus Mars Attacks is a thing that has to happen, and these two go together very nicely. They scale well. See, Agent J, what do you think about this guy?
Is that all you got? That measures about a 10 on my weirdometer.
Alrighty, so yeah, no official other figures to put with this guy, but I'm sure with a little bit of creativity you can pair them off, find some other things that look nice on an MIB shelf. One real quick look at the package before we go. So here's the box he comes in. It's kind of an open box. It was attached inside with twisty ties, wire ties, but it's open. So he'd been sitting around since 2002, and he was quite a bit dusty. But you see MIB2 logo, Try Me buttons, Talking Agent J with Frank the Pug. There's Will Smith on the side. On the back you have descriptions of what you're getting, what he does, the press me button again, and some of the other figures in the line. Strike Cruiser's pretty sweet. More product shots on the side, and on the bottom of the box shows you how to load the missile into the gun, because you couldn't figure that out on your own. And that's about it for the package. As I said, this guy ran me about 25, but you're more likely to find him in the 30 to 45 range. But I think he's worth it. I think it's a really, really nice figure. This is easily the best Agent J figure I own, and I just love the neuralizer. It's the best gimmick ever.
Have a nice day.
That sound effect and the pause before the light up, it's just perfect. So yeah, so I highly recommend tracking this guy down. I think eBay is probably going to be your best bet. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will catch up with you another time. But until then, this has been the Starving Martian reminding you, as always, to keep watching the skies. Later.